Thank you. I'm a senior BBC Radio 2 announcer. As such, I'm treated with great respect.
Get off your boat!
As a senior BBC Radio 2 announcer, I'm granted privileges not given to many. I'm allowed to dine in the executive restaurant, where I have my own personal plastic cup. Unlike more junior announcers, I'm excused slopping out first thing in the morning, as well as not having to report to the BBC knit nurse once every 6 weeks. The work is demanding and the hours are long. I rarely get time to spend with my dear wife.
I only gets to see him about an hour a week.
For which I'm very grateful. So much for the glamorous side of my work. On occasions, I do have to make very distressing announcements, which cause deep concern to the listening public, like the one that I have to make now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy's Cricket Team starring Jimmy Cricket. I'm very sorry about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, come here. What a wonderful, fantastic week I've had. On Monday, I was delighted to present a cheque for £2.5 million from a well-known football pools firm to a 92-year-old lady. On Tuesday, I married her. And there's more. Friday saw what could be the turning point in my career. I've just signed up to appear in a film. It's not the sort of film you'd associate with me because it's a wee bit, well, the title says it all. In bed with the roly-polies.
Hello, I'm a stupid man.
Hello, stupid man.
Can I ask you something?
Anything you like, stupid man.
Honestly?
Honestly.
Cross your heart and hope to die in a cellar full of Rolf Harris records.
Cross my heart and hope to die in a cellar full of Rolf Harris records.
Have you ever tried to have a conversation while you're eating potato crisps?
Never.
You have now. Here, a bag of potato crisps for you and a bag of potato crisps for me.
Eat the crisps and have a conversation?
Yes, we'll both eat the crisps and have a conversation. Are you ready?
Ready.
Right. It's stupid, this isn't it?
I've never done anything so stupid before.
Here. Hey, here. I'd like to have a go at that. Give me a bag of crisps.
Oh, I didn't think you were that stupid.
It isn't easy speaking with a mouth full of crisps.
I'll bet people listening at home think that we're only pretending.
We're not pretending, we've got our mouth full of crisps. Now this is what I call stupid.
I don't care because these are my favourite crisps. Smoky bacon.
I'm not opposed to the smoky bacon crisps myself.
Years ago, you used to get a little bag of salt in the blue bag at the bottom of your crisp bag.
I'm not sure whether I like smoky bacon or cheese and onion.
I've got nothing against cheese and onion in the house.
I bought my first bag of crisps when I was on holiday. I was on holiday in Lanfracken.
Pardon?
I'm not staying there again, mate.
Did you hear what the lady down there sitting on the front row said?
What is the lady down there sitting on the front row there?
Oh, crumbs.
Beat that for stupid.
Easily.
How?
Listen.
I've worked here at the Department of Health and Social Services for many years, and yours is one of the most distressing cases I have ever had to deal with. Unable to work because of a severe back injury, no other means of support, deeply in debt, debts which you cannot pay because you are destitute, homeless, and sleeping in the streets.
Thank you.
Because of your dire circumstances, you have been disowned by your own family, who threw you out of what was your own home.
Thank you.
I find this most disturbing, that any family can treat their own aged father with a bad chest and a wooden leg quite reprehensible. They have given you the life of a dog, you sad, tragic, pathetic figure of a man.
Thank you.
On going through your notes, I see that in order to get you out of your own home, your own daughter put a dead cat in your bed and set fire to your overcoat.
Thank you.
You spent 6 weeks recovering from exposure in hospital after being found lying in the snow on a refuse tip where you'd been searching for food.
Thank you.
I have never, in all my experience, come across such a catalogue of human indignities which you, in your frail state, have had to endure. Unwanted, impoverished, penniless, living in slum backstreet squalor. When your wooden leg snapped and the hospital turned you away, you had to walk with one leg in the gutter. In short, you have lived the life of a pauper.
Thank you.
And now you are applying for some sort of financial help.
Thank you.
No chance. Can't you take a hint, Dad?
Thank you.
She should be locked away.
Here's somebody who could get her locked up.
Who?
This man.
My name's Marlowe, Philip Marlowe, Private Eye. I've lent my other eye to a 35-year-old teddy bear. I was sitting in a corner table in a smoke-filled nightclub. It was on fire. There was a guy playing the piano with a broken nose. I guess if you play the piano with your nose, it's bound to break sooner or later. I was on the outside of a half a bottle of bourbon and I felt good. It was hot. I loosened my tie and my trousers fell down. I often came to this place, one of my favorite drinking joints owned by Paddy the Greek. It wasn't his fault if he had a lousy sense of direction. I was tired. I thought about heading back to my one-room apartment, the corner of 5th and 23rd. I like a big bed. The guy I'd been waiting for came in and started looking around. He was stoutly built, thin, bald head with a thick mop of red hair. Clean-shaven with a droopy moustache and a beard. Aged about 5'7". In my racket, you've got to have a good eye for detail. He slumped into the chair next to me and put his head in his hands. One of the best tricks I've ever seen. He was 78 and just been married to a 21-year-old burlesque dancer. What a dame. She was the kind of girl you could take home to mama if you nailed father to the floor. I knew Mamie. She was a hooker. She spent 2 years with Hull Kingston Rovers. She got sent off in the final at Wembley. I don't know what happened in the scrum, but the guy who got carried off is now with the Nolan sisters. The old guy's hand shook. I love her, Mr. Marlowe. He wiped a tear from his ear. I believe that she's having an affair with a young chauffeur. He handed me 10 grand. Perhaps this might persuade him to leave my lovely young wife alone. I took the 10 grand and promised him that I'd try and get the chauffeur guy to stop driving all over his life. It was a story I'd heard 100 times before, but it still made me sick to my stomach. I guess that deep down I'm not as tough as I make out to be. My name is Marlowe, Philip Marlowe, Private Eye, I'm part-time chauffeur.
Time, gentlemen, please. I got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, standing in a row. I really enjoyed myself tonight.
I'll suck some ale and I'm not kidding.
Great night that was. Good night, Archie.
Good night, Nellie.
Good night, Albert.
Good night, Nellie.
Good night, Albert.
Good night, Archie.
Good night, Nellie.
Good night, Albert.
Good night, Nellie.
Good night, Archie.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Archie.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Nellie.
Hang on. What's all this shouting about? Will you keep the noise down? There's people trying to get to sleep.
Oh, very sorry, Constable.
I can hear the lot of you half a mile down the road shouting good night. Just clear off home, the lot of you.
Sorry, Constable.
We didn't think, Constable.
People like you just don't think when you've had a few drinks. Come on off home, the lot of you.
Yeah.
Good night, Constable.
Good night, Nellie.
Good night, Costello.
Good night, Albert.
Good night.
Good night, Albert!
Good night, Nellie.
Good night.
Hey, what's all this racket about?
Sorry about this, Sergeant.
I'm sat in the station, all I can hear is good night.
Well, I've told them about it, Sergeant.
Hooligans. This what you lot are, ruddy hooligans. Just clear off home before I book the lot of you for disturbing the police.
Well, that seems to have done the trick.
All it needed was a bit of authority.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. I didn't...
Yes, it's all sorted out now. I'm off back to the station to get some paperwork done.
Right, Sergeant.
Right. Good night, Constable.
Good night, Sergeant.
Good night, Nellie.
Good night, Sergeant!
Good night, Albert. Good night, Constable.
Just a few days ago, I was... Hello?
Hospital request.
I told you a long time ago we no longer do hospital requests. Goodbye.
No, I beg you. Don't put the phone down on me. Don't turn me away like all the others have. I dread to think what I might do if you shun and spurn me. I'm desperate. There's nowhere else for me to turn, and I need somebody to talk to. Don't leave me in this state.
What's your problem?
I'm a woman alone. Only an understanding person like yourself would understand.
Well, can't you talk this over with your husband?
I haven't got a husband. There's no man in my life, and fate has deemed that never will it be. I've got to accept the fact that I'm a woman alone.
Well, for every woman, there's a man.
No, I've tried everything.
Well, such as?
Dating agency.
What happened?
It's all done by a computer.
What happened?
Questions. They wanted to know everything. They asked me what sort of a man I was looking for.
And what did you say?
One and a substitute. I told them straight. I told them I wasn't fussy just so long as he was warm and walking, aged between 18 and 86. I told them that I wanted a young, hunky, husky lad. A young lad built like a bush shelter, with a big hairy chest, strong arms and thighs, with urges. I insisted on one what had urges and pangs. The fiery pangs of desire. I thought if I'm paying good money, I wanted one with sturdy thighs, urges and pangs. I told them exactly what I wanted because I didn't want to be a woman alone.
Didn't they want to know anything about you?
Everything. Every last detail about the sort of woman I am.
And what sort are you?
The gentle, reserved, quiet lady with love to give to the right sort of man. I told them that I was looking for a companion who could sit by my side at night while I did my tapestry work and flower arranging.
You do tapestry work and flower arranging?
If you believe that, you'll believe anything. I lied through my teeth because I was desperate. Desperate, and that's a fact.
Did they match you up with somebody on the computer?
They did that.
And they arranged for you to meet?
Last night under the clock at the shopping precinct.
Oh, you must have been overjoyed. At last you were going to meet the man of your dreams.
Man of my lousy dreams.
You didn't like him?
Him? It was a flaming Alsatian.
An Alsatian dog?
You should see the state of me good home. The new curtains I paid £8.50 a yard for. Shredded, ribbons, ripped great big holes in me carpet, ate me dinner, and I was treading in all kinds. Only had them shoes a week. Now I'm right back where I started. A woman alone.
As a senior BBC Radio 2 announcer, thank you. I would ask you to pause a moment as we enjoy the peace and tranquility of this beautiful Britain. This week we're in the pleasant surroundings of the tiny hamlet of Fondle by the Well. Here we see one of the local housewives sitting on the step of her quaint old cottage, carrying on one of the traditional crafts. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Could you tell me what it is that you're doing?
What I be doing is my embroidery, what is part of our traditional crafts, handed down through the ages.
Oh, very charming. What is it that you're embroidering at the moment?
The left leg of me knickers.
Yes. As we move on...
What I'm embroidering on the left leg of me knickers is a view of the squire's garden.
Delightful, yes. As we
Now,
cross...
the thing is, as I puts the knickers on, the left leg stretches as it be pulled over the upper part of the leg.
That really is most charming. The castle
As
wall...
the left leg of me knickers stretch, all the flowers in the garden open. If you have a look...
Let us move on. Now, we come to the castle built in 1565 by Sir Guy de Barrett. On the lawn, one can still see the marks where he landed in his helicopter. I have with me now the local gamekeeper, Josiah Gutrattle. Josiah, are you at this moment about your duties as gamekeeper?
That I am, sure, your worship, keeping an eye out.
Keeping an eye out for what?
Twerts.
Twerts?
Twerts.
Oh, I don't think that I've ever come across a twert before.
Plagued with twerts every pull-uppin'.
Pull-up-in?
Brings the twerts out and force does pull-uppin'. There's one now.
What was that?
A twert, look out!
I must say this is a new experience for me.
Watch it!
This shirt was clean on this morning.
Little devils, them twerts.
I really must move on.
You go and have a word with old Toby and Ben, two of our local characters.
I'd be right proud of that, Toby.
And you has every right to be proud, Ben.
Right proud.
I'd say.
Yes.
I'd say that in all your years...
My year.
In all your years...
Yes.
That is the finest compost heap what you ever built.
Proud of that compost I am, Toby.
I think...
Yes.
I think that you should get a cup for that compost heap.
Trouble is, I don't think I'd find a cup big enough to fit all of that compost in.
Oh, I meant the silver cup of the annual show.
Ah, I knew it was one of my best compost heaps this morning when the soles come off me boots.
Sure sign that is.
Sure sign.
If you was to enter that at the annual show...
Yes.
I reckon you get a highly niffable.
Can't get better than a highly niffable.
You given thought as to what you're going to put it on?
Oh, I has given thought as to what I'm going to put it on.
What you going to put that 6 ton of compost on then?
The wife.
If you'll hang on for 10 minutes, I'll go and fetch my missus.
Have they all gone? Oh, good. Now I can read the letter from me mammy. Dear Jimmy...
Get off, you bum!
Dear Jimmy, I'm afraid your Aunt Nora's had a bit of an accident. She was ironing the bedroom curtains and she fell out of the window. It was okay because the ground broke her fall. They kept her in hospital overnight for observation, but she said that she didn't see anything, so they sent her home. She's now in traction. I'd go and visit her, only I don't know where traction is. There was a man in the next bed in the hospital, covered from head to toe with bandages. I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he was a window cleaner. I asked him when he gave it up. He said halfway down. It reminds me of the time when your father chopped his fingers off by mistake and went to the hospital. The nurse said he should have brought them and she would have stitched them on. Your father said he would have, but he couldn't pick them up. Your father's in a terrible mood. He took his Robin Reliant for an MOT and the man at the garage said it had file passed. We went to the old-time dancing at the village hall last night. I was halfway through a tango when I had to stop because the bubbles kept going up my nose. The spot prize was won by some woman who suffers from acne. Your Uncle John did the bumps of Daisy with Big Nellie Bishop and he had to pay to get back in again. Your father didn't fancy the Paso Doble as he won't eat anything with nuts in. He's been working hard all afternoon cutting the grass. Why we can't have Lionel like everybody else, I never know. The workmen have dug a great big hole right in the middle of the road. I complained to the council that the hole was very dangerous. They said they'd look into it. Yesterday a lorry pulled up and 2 men put the hole on the back. They climbed into the lorry, went into reverse, and we haven't seen them since. That's all for now. Love, Mammy. P.S., and there's more. We have had an extension phone put at the side of the bed. If you telephone home and you don't get an answer, try the one downstairs. Love, Mammy. Excuse me, officer. Could you tell me the right time?
I could if I wanted, but I'm not going to.
Why not?
I'm in one of my funny moods.
I only want to know the time.
I don't care. I'm not going to tell you.
But you're a policeman. Policemen always tell people the time.
I don't. Why don't you have a look at the clock on the top of the town hall?
Well, where is the town hall?
I'm not going to tell you.
Look, I've got a train to catch.
I have a feeling you're going to miss it. You've picked a balmy Bobby and no mistake.
Ahoy!
And he can stop where he is and all.
I only want to know the time.
Well, guess.
Guess? 2:30.
Wrong. You're a mile out. Your train will be long gone by now. I set fire to my baton this morning.
I've never come across a policeman like you in all my life.
I couldn't give a toss.
I'm going to report you to the watch committee.
When you report me to the watch committee, will you do me a favour? Put in a report about my watch because it stopped. Wrinkle Lodge, home for retired folk.
Hello? Could I speak to...
Hey, now just you hold your horses for 1 minute. Aren't you the one what keeps ringing me up and asking to speak to residents with big long names what gets me all in a state?
It's not my fault if they've got big long names.
Well, Des O'Connor keeps making LPs and that's not my fault either. Who do you want to speak to?
I'd like to speak to the Right Honourable...
This is going to be a belter. I can sense it a mile off. Go on.
The Right Honourable Sir Arbuthnot, Jasper, Marmaduke, Percival, Winstanley, Hubert, Montgomery, Farquhar, Faversham, St. John, Carruthers.
I'll just get
OBE, MM, JP, DFC, PhD, MP...
Well, I'll just get...
Master of the Royal College of Music, Master of the Rolls, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, and former Keeper of the Queen's Shilling. I'd like to have a word with him, please.
You can't.
Why not?
He got done yesterday for nicking the lead off the roof. A right tea leaf.
For all you lovers of good singing, we welcome the husband and wife singing duo whose singing, like their marriage, is always in harmony. Ladies and gentlemen, Daphne and Cyril Billington. Daphne and Cyril, what can I say? I'm thrilled and delighted to welcome you back, as are your many fans.
How very sweet of you, darling.
My dear chap, you've no idea how happy we are to be back. Is that not so, Daphne, darling?
Absolutely, darling.
I'm sure you'll agree with me that Daphne is looking as radiant as ever.
Cyril, darling.
And what are you going to sing for us tonight?
A selection of songs by our favourite composer. Is that not so, Cyril, darling?
Indeed, Daphne, darling. I need only mention Perchance to Dream, and I'm sure you'll know who we mean.
I do indeed.
Ivor Novelty.
Who?
Ivor Novelty.
Oh, dearie me.
What's the dearie me supposed to mean?
Nothing at all. It's Ivor Novello.
Don't try and make me look a Nelly in front of the audience.
She never ceases to amaze me. Ivor Novelty.
Watch it, you're treading on broken glass.
We'd be delighted to hear.
Would you believe it? Ivanhoe.
So I made a mistake. It's Ivanhoe Piggin-Bellow.
In Daphne's defence, I must say she has been working very hard these past few months.
Hardly a moment to myself, darling.
Very busy?
Public appearances.
Really?
Opening things, bottles of Guinness, lager.
You clapped up, shriveled up old bin bag.
What was that?
He's Mutton Jeff and all. He's supposed to be wearing an invisible hearing aid. Look at it. Just look at it. It's as big as a bucket.
We're really looking forward to
Did
hearing...
he tell you about his pantomime season? Did he tell you?
I don't quite honestly think there's any point.
Telling everybody he had a big part in pantomime, and he was right. He played the back half of Widow Twanky, a big dozy dog.
Just once, do you think you might conduct yourselves like seasoned professionals and stop this arguing?
You're quite right. We have behaved in the most appalling manner.
I'm most terribly sorry.
Right. Now, what have you been doing since we last met?
We've been entertaining the troops.
Well, one of us has.
And what's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just a little wonder we've got any stair carpet left.
That did it. That put the top on it, that did. Hop at the pair of you. Come on.
Oh, I say.
Really?
We're running out of time. I promised our listeners music, and music they shall have, performed by a real professional. Ladies and gentlemen, we go now to the Royal Festival Hall for a performance of Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto with the Royal London Symphony Orchestra. The soloist is that great international pianist, Lionel Frock. Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto.
For novelty.
How would you like a free ride on the hospital?
Come on, get off, get lost right now. Come on. Sorry. Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto, soloist Lionel Frock. Thank you.
How does it go again? Hang on a minute. Oh, yes, I've got it now, yes. From the beginning again, please, Maestro. Thank you. Oh, I'm so silly. I knew it this morning. Oh, just give me half a tick. I've got it. Yes, I remember now. Oh, no problem this time. Thank you, Maestro. I think I will, thank you. You have been listening to Jimmy's Cricket Team, starring Jimmy Cricket, with Bill Pertwee, Peter Goodright and Noreen Kershaw. The script was written by Eddie Braben, and the show was produced in Manchester by Mike Craig. I'm glad that's over and done with. I've never been through anything like it in all my puff. Torture, that was. Out and out torture.
Don't worry about it, Bill. Have a crisp.
A crisp, we said, have a crisp. I'll finish up in a rubber room.
What's wrong with everybody?
It's the Jolly Robins what does it.
As a senior BBC Radio 2 announcer... Thank you.
Fortune's always hiding. I've looked everywhere, but I just keep on blowing bubbles. I'm forgetting all my little troubles. I'm forever, ever, and ever blowing bubbles. Lots of pretty bubbles, big fat bubbles in the air.